Hi there. This is a quick video I'm going to make that covers an Excel document that I have created that shows basically whether something is worth buying directly on the auction house or buying on the Mari shop. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm just going to dive into it. So this is the document itself. I'm going to put a link to the description and I just want to walk you through how it works. So in the document itself, there's some cells that have these thick borders. Anywhere you see a thick border like this, it's kind of asking for your input. You'll be filling out these fields. Anywhere that there's kind of this gray color in the background and there's not a border around it, these are values that will automatically update. If you're into Excel and you understand kind of some basic things, you can see a couple things. Like I've named like this cell is the crystal cost, this thing is like the gold equivalent, the crystal equivalent, and then things like this take the value of H2 times the crystal equivalent to determine these results. There's like a nested if then statement in here, but a lot of this stuff is pretty straightforward. I'm not super interested in teaching you how to use Excel. I've built this document and it's very easy to use, and I'm going to walk you through using it, but not super interested in troubleshooting your problems. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to have the document open. We're going to open up the store and we're going to go to the currency exchange. I have a little thing that's pinned so Excel won't fall to the background as I'm making this video. But basically what you do is you go in here, you go to buy crystals, and you look at the current going rate of how much it costs to buy 95 crystals. So whenever you buy a chunk of crystals, basically you're paying for 100 crystals, but then the shop screws you out of 5%. So if I spent 345 gold to get 100 crystals, I would end up getting 95 as a result of that. So that's this first value up here in the current gold cost. So you punch in 345 and you hit OK. And then all these other, I mean, I don't know if you didn't see it, but like if gold costs 600, then all these values change. But currently it's 345 as I record this video. So basically you're going to get 95 crystals for the 345. Again, this has the border, so this is the value that you're supplying. This 95 is just the number 95. It's always static, but a lot of things multiply off of this to get the current values. So basically you can assume that one crystal costs about 3.63 gold. Again, some of these numbers, there's going to be people out there whinging in the audience that's like, oh, yellow on gray, I can't read it. It's like, I don't care. Like, make it your own colors, do whatever you want. Like, this worked for me. I kind of alternate between like a orange yellow color when I'm talking about gold and blue colors when I'm talking about crystals, just for my own sanity. But these gray values, again, these automatically update, so I don't ever have to really like look at these and reference them. If you wanted to go in here and you wanted to buy something on the Mari shop for like 240 crystals, now that the rate has been established, you can see that that costs about 872 gold as I record this. If you wanted to buy something on the auction house that was 500 gold, you would see that that would be about the equivalent of 138 crystals. But the real meat and potatoes is this kind of table over here where, as you know, the grind to hone is, the struggle is real. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of walk through filling out this part and then determining whether honing mats basically are worth buying on the auction house or the Mari shop. And then I do have kind of a simple way to plug in a single one-off if you want to do that, but I went ahead and built this table based on tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3 common honing materials. So now that we have the exchange rate locked in, I'm going to go ahead and leave this, and I'm going to hit Alt Y to open up the market. Drag it over here so that I can see both Excel and the market. And then I'm going to go to Enhancement and Materials All, and I'm going to search, and then I'm going to search on tier 1 and hit the search button. If you sort, if your thing is sorted weird, if you sort by rank, they kind of all fall in order here, like alphabetically. And so that's the same order that you'll see over here in the Excel document. So Destruction Stone Fragments, and then Guardian Stone Fragments, and then Harmony Shard Pouch S, blah, blah, blah. So what I base it on is the recent price. I look at this. Sometimes the average day price will vary kind of drastically, but, you know, and the lowest price might not be, but I base it on the recent price, which is, I think, an average of different sales that it's seen in the last hour or whatever. So this seems like a good number for me. So I go in here basically into column H, and I go down the list. And so I say, so Destruction Stone Fragments are 1, Guardian Stone Fragments are 1, I've got 62 here, I've got a 6, I've got 125 for the Harmony Shard Pouch M, Star's Breath is 4, I don't do the books, and then the Shard Pouches are 221s. I don't do the books just because I don't see these very often on Mari's shop, they might come up from time to time, but if you want to find these, I'll show you how you can do a one-off search later, but these are the ones that I'm mostly focused on. So again, if I go to tier 2, you normally don't need to fill this in for everything unless you have alts that are all in the different tiers, but let me just go down this list. 3, 5, 105. It's good to kind of like do a sanity check and make sure that what you're typing in is what you're actually typing in, but Life Leap Stones are 15, 195. The Moon's Breath R7, and the Life Shard Pouch L is currently 349, which is way too much gold. Tier 3, search. Guardian Stone Crystals. So you can see I had some values in here that from the last time I used this document, but basically 8, 17, Solar Gracer 27, Honor Shard Pouch S is 28, Honor Leap Stones are 20, 52, 82, 96, Honor Shard Pouch L is 83, Powder of Sage, which I don't even know what that is. I haven't gotten that far in the game. And then Solar Protection is the last one on this tier, so 178. So now that I've populated column H here and I've like got it all filled out, it's gone ahead and it's done the math where it takes this value that I've provided in H2 and then it does the math times the crystal equivalent, which is which one is that? That's this value here, crystal equivalent. So it multiplies that times that, and it figures out like, you know, 62 gold is basically 17 crystals. 6 gold is basically 2 crystals. Where it's like one, like these are so cheap these days that it's literally 1 gold for 10 of these. This would throw an error. I didn't want to do lots of like, you know, 6 decimal places, so it would have thrown a 0. And so I just said if the value is 0, just return a less than 1. And I think it takes until it gets up to 5 gold before it actually becomes 1 crystal worth. So sometimes you'll see this. So now that we've got these filled in, the next step is to go into the Mari shop and look at something that you're looking for. So it's interesting, actually, this Life Shard Pouch threw me off earlier because this is shown as blue. Life Shard Pouch S in the Mari shop at tier 2 is blue, but actually in the auction house, it's a green item. And so I did double check. This is actually 500 life shards on use. This is correct. It's just weird. This is just you'll come across these things in Lost Ark from time to time where the translation is poor, or they like messed up a tooltip, or they messed up the coloring, or maybe they want this to look like it's a better deal than it is, whatever. But the one thing about the shop too that's a little bit weird is that sometimes you'll see these little brackets where it means you're getting 10 of these pouches for 38 crystals. Sometimes the bracket falls off here, like in this example, and down here. If you hover over the cost, or you hover over the icon, you get this stupid tooltip over here that's not very useful. But if you hover over the body of the text, you can actually see that number that flies off the edge. And you need to keep that in mind. And this is, let's use this Destruction Stone Crystal as an example. So this is a tier 3 weapon chunk of whatever. And so you're going to get 300 of these for 240 crystals. So we go over here to the Destruction Stone Crystals. We say, for 240 crystals, I'm going to get 300 of these. But on the auction house, they sell in 10 stacks. So basically the multiplier to make them apples to apples comparisons is a 30, right? And so if I was to buy 30 of these at 17 gold on the auction house, that would end up being 510 gold that I would spend on the auction house, right? And now, since I've said that this on the Mari shop is 240 and I supplied that value here, it does the math and it says, oh, okay, 240 crystals is actually about 872 gold worth of crystals. So it's a better deal to get this on the auction house. Let's do another one here. So Life Shard Pouch S. So Life Shard Pouch S, which is what here? So this one is 38 crystals on the Mari shop, and the multiplier that you get is 10. So this is a better deal getting it on the Mari shop, because here, if you were to buy 10 of these at a cost of 105, you would be spending 1,050 gold on the auction house. But by getting it for 38 crystals on the Mari shop, you're actually only spending about 138 gold. So this becomes a much better deal on the Mari shop. Again, I talked about things like the Black Oreha fusion material, these one-offs, or if you want to buy a book or something and you're like, what's this item? basically this is 10 of the basic Oreja fusion material. Again, you can or you can open these and you can click on it once and you'll see how much you get, but you can also just hover over the name here. So in this case, I've got 10 basic Oreja for 40 crystals. So you can scroll down a little bit, and here's a one-off item. So you say for 40 crystals, I'll be getting 10 of this basic Oreja fusion, and then you have to leave and go to the auction house and look for basic Oreja fusion material search. And see that it's recently been going for 9 gold. So it's a better deal to buy these on the auction house than it is to get them in the Mari shop. And again, you can go through these and you could fill all this information out. I kind of just do it I filled out the tables. It's easy to bang through and fill out tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. I see myself primarily using this for honing materials, so that's why I went ahead and built out this table. Again, if you run into problems, I wish you the best of luck with Google. I'm not super interested in following this thread and seeing if you all figured out how to use it. I think you're probably a smart person if you're watching this, and you're curious about how this kind of stuff works. So you can kind of click around in here. Worst case scenario, you screw up your copy and then you go back and you get another copy and you start over from fresh when it works. But that's kind of it. Basically, again, go to the store. Go to currency exchange. This is the main meat and potatoes right here. Buy crystals, and then you look at 338 for 1. This is actually even changed in the time that we've been here. So I can update, and then some of these might have swung in that instant from when it was 345 at the beginning of the video, and now it's 338. One other thing that people might not know, and so this is kind of interesting, I'll just throw it out here, is that you can actually, like the stock market, you can place limit orders here where you can say currently it's 300 for 95 crystals, but you can add a buy. You can add a buy for yourself. If you say if it gets down to 300, I want to go ahead and buy, and then you can see that your offer is listed up here. And you can say if it ever dips down to 300, I'm willing to buy 500 crystals at a cost of 15. And this one I've had up for about 20 hours or whatever, and it hasn't dipped that low. But you could basically place limit orders and say, I'm comfortable spending this much, but I don't want to spend this much. And timing the market, good luck with that. But this is basically, at any given moment, if you just click this buy crystals, you'll see that the going rate is 338. So that's it. Good luck out there. Milky-eyed Ixobelle says goodbye, shoots her pet in the face. GG.